Hello, Cleveland, and everyone from everywhere else. Welcome to your 10-minute TA for Monday, March 17th, 2025. Let's start the week off right with some Bitcoin TA for you. Not really much has changed, though, so this may end up being a short one. Let's just take a quick peek here. We'll see the 90-minute chart, the bull flag, or the price action is still within the bull flag. Move those out just a wee bit more, like so, and then this one can be moved out a little bit more too. And if the breakout, we can leave the breakout where it was. Leave our measured move up here at 86,866. We're also still within the pattern here, this ascending triangle. Also still in the pattern of this bear flag with a measured move down to 68,808. And a measured move up for the ascending triangle to 91,727. Let's move these over a bit. They were like that. And then let's move these daily ones over just a bit. Let's move this over just a bit too, so it's not quite so in the way. So yeah, we're still within all the patterns. Nothing has really changed. Price action did come down a little bit more. Came up a little bit more since yesterday. Since yesterday's video, but didn't really, go anywhere. There is I am seeing a bit of a symmetrical triangle possibly forming. Now, if this does form a symmetrical triangle, those do tend to play down. That would be the base of the triangle from the top to the bottom. So this could play down to 80,806, which still would be a higher low in this pattern. This pattern here. So in this, it's that ascending triangle there. So if that ascending triangle pattern can still put in a higher low here, then good. If not, well, then, if what do I mean if not? If 80,000 breaks, that's our last low. If 80,000 breaks, then we're probably going to go back down to 77, which is our low before then. And if that doesn't hold, well, then this bear flag is going to play out as far down as 68,808. Don't want to scare you, but we are under the 200 here on the 90, under the 200 here on the 6 hour, and we're under the 200 here on the daily as well. So yeah, those are not good signs. Being under the 200 is a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you're a bull. Let's look at the 22 just to get a little glimpse of what's going on there. Well, 22 is looking good, actually. Yeah, it's a little messed up. Let me delete this symmetrical triangle. You guys know where it is. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is the Stokes are heading up, but the RSI is getting stuck here at the 50, or finding resistance at the 50, and it started curling back down. The Stokes might actually start curling back down here as well, or they'll just real quick. But yeah, that might not be good. We'll see. Another little bull flag here. We'll see if that bull flag can take off. What's the 5 minutes saying? 5 minutes Stokes are pointing down. RSI looks like it may be turning around back to the upside, though. We are seeing a downward wedge here, which would usually turn into an upward wedge back to the top of that. So 5 minute may reverse here. 1 minute, what are you looking at? 1 minute's bumping up, trying to get over its 200. It keeps knocking up over it, but then getting rejected. But we are seeing confluence between the price action and RSI. Higher lows. Higher lows. And the Stokes are pointing up. Stokes are pointing up. If they can break over that 200 on the 1 minute, push the 5 minute back over its 200, push the 22 over its 200. Maybe we can push the 90 over its 200, then push the 6 hour over its 200, and then push the daily over its 200. But hey, that might just be my wishful thinking, since the 90-minute Stokes are pointing to the downside, and the RSI is in bearish territory, and it's, yeah. However, we are still seeing this confluence, or I'm sorry, this divergence. Lower lows here on price with higher lows there on the RSI. And then if that turns into confluence by having this low come in right here, well, that would turn it into confluence with the lows now being higher on both. Well, man, yeah, I mean, it can still go up. There's a chance for it, but everything is under the 200, so I'm feeling a little more pensive about it, especially with the Stokes pointing down here, the Stokes pointing down here. We can see the Stokes on both of these time frames reset, start oscillating back to the upside before the RSI can really fall down any lower. Well, we don't want to see it get any lower than like 45, but really we don't want to see a lower low come in under like 41, 40. Same deal here. We want to see it keep putting in higher lows. But if that can happen, then maybe we can keep driving these daily Stokes up. And this, what is a bear flag, this bear flag, may get invalidated. And we could see this turn into a, not as a fast V-shaped recovery, but a pretty much a V-shaped recovery. It would look like one on the higher frames, like on the weekly or something. RSI here on the daily is down in bearish territory still, though. We are seeing that a divergence here as well, if you don't count the wicks, and even if you do count the wicks, but lower high or lower lows, higher lows. All right. Volatility's pretty low here. Oh, and one more thing. There is a Bollinger Band squeeze going on here on the 6-hour chart. What does that tell us? Breakout. Breakout's coming. Which direction? Up or down? We don't know. Gotta watch and see. Hopefully it's to the upside. Hopefully. I mean, even if it does go down, I'm prepared. I've been divesting. If you guys have been listening to my show for a little while now, you'll have heard me talk about my divesting plan back in December. I sold 10% near the top. I didn't get the top, but near the top, I sold 10%. And then after that, I started doing 1%, occasionally doing 2% per week. And then in January, I did another like 10% near the top, not at the top. And then as it broke down into the 90s, I sold like 5 to 10% again. I think it was 5%. And then I just kept doing that 1% every week. So that ended up being like another 10%. So I got like 40 to 50% of my portfolio divested by the end of February. And then in March, when things started kind of continuing to the downside, I took out a little bit more. Out of the alts. This is all out of altcoins. I haven't sold any Bitcoin ever, and I probably will never sell Bitcoin. We could talk about that later. But with the alts, I'm fairly divested. Not entirely divested, but I'm almost entirely divested. There's probably about 20% of what I had left, 25 maybe, of what I had in the alts still in the alts. So I feel safe. I'm comfy. I have dry powder if this does turn into a bear market, and I'm still invested enough that if there is a whole nother leg to this bull run, I'll still reap some rewards from that as well. But yeah, that's my plan. Hope you guys have a plan. It's always good to have a plan. It's always good to have a plan, and then the other thing you got to do is follow your plan. All right. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Much love. See you later.